everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we are really excited today. We are here to talk about it's our first episode of non-Hallmark Christmas recaps for it's our first episode of non-Hallmark Christmas coverage from 2024. So we're talking Netflix, we're talking Lifetime, we're talking feature films, all the fun stuff. And I'm film critic Rachel Wagner, and Terry's here.
Hi.
How's it going?
Well,
As well as you can, yeah. And how is your Christmas movie watching season been going?
it's been going well. I'm a bit behind. I took an
Uh-huh.
unfortunate spill. I don't recommend it. Dislocated my shoulder, so now I'm a full week
Yeah.
behind. And come Thanksgiving, this is torturous if you're
Yeah.
watching all these these
It's
Christmas
brutal.
movies.
It's
It's
brutal.
brutal.
We'll get
But
through it.
I just wish I felt more Christmassy. I don't really feel
I know. When
it
do you
doesn't
put
feel
up
like
your tree
Christmas. Yeah,
normally?
I don't like we're about to put that up at my sister's house and do all the but like it's still warm here. We're having great weather, which is unusual. There's no snow and it's like I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm hopefully going to put up my tree on Saturday, and I think
Yeah.
that will help a lot,
I
like
think
bring
I
in
think I
the
need that
feels.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, which I might get out of doing this year because I am one-armed. So yeah. Uh, I'm gonna milk that Rachel for all it's
Yeah.
worth.
Might as well, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Well, how do you think the season has been so far? Like Hallmark, non-Hallmark, just in general. How do you
I
think it's
think it's
been?
been okay. I haven't really watched a lot that I've like truly not enjoyed. And even if I found them a little dull, they're perfectly watchable, serviceable holiday
Yeah.
movies. And some of them I saw last year, so that helps out. And that there's a whole bunch. I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, check off my list.
Some of them even more than that, like the Up TV mysteries. That was
Oh yeah,
we first covered those in 2022.
I looked at this. I think there's only three of the Up TV movies that I have not seen that are airing this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, when you
you
watch them
gotta
all, Rachel, that helps.
you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Totally.
Desperate times.
Nobody's making me. I'm just doing it because I want to, which is, you know.
Yeah, well, it's too bad Michelle couldn't be here because of things going on, because she watched Terrifier 3 for
Oh,
us. Like, I told her she
oh,
didn't. I said, don't do it, don't watch it. Like, and because she'd seen the other two and she didn't like them, so I'm like, don't watch it. And she's like, no, I need to do it for
oh,
for the
that one's
podcast.
that one takes place at Christmas. I had no idea.
Yes, it takes place at Christmas, and I guess Art the Clown is Santa Claus in some scenes.
I've never seen one of those, and
I
I
have
don't know
never,
if I
never
want
will.
to. I just
Not
don't
for
know if I
me.
want to.
I mean, to each their own, but that's the like I'll watch a horror movie, I'll watch a scary movie, but that's a line that
Yeah, because
for me.
that's slasher, right?
Hmm.
I'm not too much unless it's like Freddy Krueger. I'm not into
Yeah,
slasher horror movies.
I've watched some, like the original Halloween, and
Yeah,
and I've watched Scream, and there's some that I've watched, but
yeah.
for the most part, I prefer my non crazy killer movies. Like,
Yeah, like I love the supernatural ones. Those are
yeah, but
my
we do
favorite.
have it's a short, and we have Michelle's out of theater reaction to Terrifier 3
Oh,
on
good.
on the TikTok and on the channel. So if you're dying to know what she thought, we got it. Terrifier 3. But anyway, yeah. So one thing that's fun that is happening this year is that the local AM radio station KSL, they have every Friday, they have a show called The Movie Show. And I've been a fan of it for a long time, and I've been a listener for a long, long time. And I got to go on the movie show in June, and I've kind of kept up that friendship and that relationship. And so I am going every Friday on KSL, and you can listen online anywhere. You don't have to be in Utah. KSL, or it's 12:35, around 12:35 Mountain Time. So wherever you are, that would be 2:35 your time. Fridays, KSL movie show. I am doing a segment for them where we talk about Christmas movies. So if you don't get enough of me, if you're not just like completely tired of my voice, then check that out. I'd love for them to, feel like it was a positive thing for them, plus
Yeah.
obviously a positive thing for me, and just a fun, good experience for me to get more practice doing live radio like that. And it's I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
So you should all check it
Plus, you get
out.
to reach a newer audience as well, who might
Yeah,
not.
newer audience, and like I
Yeah.
said, just get the practice of doing that kind of live recording with the other hosts and the things like that. So
Yeah.
really good. But yeah, you all can check that out. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check out the movie show, because there's a lot of good stuff over there. Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/hallmarkies. Okay, well, let's talk about one that we've both seen, because some of these you've seen, some I've seen, some we've both seen. But
Yeah.
let's talk about one we've both seen. Let's talk about the best Christmas pageant ever. And I did like a whole episode with Lindsay Gibson about this movie. I interviewed Dallas, the director, Dallas Jenkins. But so people know what I thought about it. But overall, what do you think about it?
It was delightful.
Yeah.
It just felt like it just felt old school. Like when we
Yeah.
were kids and we would grow up and see these holiday movies, like these big ones. It felt like that. It felt like total old school. It was delightful.
Yeah.
Those kids are going to be superstars.
Mhm.
Those two young ladies in the movie were just so good. And I liked it. I liked it. I had high hopes going in because I really liked the trailer. I'm familiar with the story, but I had never read the book or seen any other adaptation of it.
Okay, so you didn't see the TV movie from the
No,
80s?
no, but I am familiar with it, but I've never seen anything else. So I was just so delightful, and I loved Judy Greer, and she was so good in this movie. I have like
Uh-huh.
one nitpick, and that's about it.
Yeah, what's your
That's
one
it.
nitpick?
Yeah. Okay. It's like when you, obviously a little spoilery, but when we're at the pageant and we get to the baby in the manger scene, and it's so touching, and we have Imogene crying, and that's such a moving moment. I didn't need them to cut away to scenes of Mary and Jesus in the manger
Mhm.
from the TV show Chosen.
You're not the only one who's voiced that
I feel
nitpick.
like there's nothing specifically wrong with that at all, but I felt like it cut away from the moment. It isn't, I'm not even complaining that it's from The Chosen and that's also his show, like Dallas Jenkins' show. No, I just felt it took away a bit from that moment.
Yeah,
That's my like sole complaint of the
yeah,
movie.
I've heard other people say that. It didn't even occur to me like as a problem, but I
It's
can
not a
see.
problem. It's just like, ooh, it would have been just, you
Yeah,
know, could have not needed that, but it
I
still
can
had
see
the same
that.
effect. Yeah.
Yeah, but I honestly I've heard other people say that, and yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Yeah,
But
but
it
I mean,
just was
takes nothing
so
away.
like so sweet, so funny. It felt authentic. It didn't feel preachy. I just feel
No.
like anybody could watch
Anybody
this movie
could,
and appreciate it.
and we've all known those busybodies at church.
Hmm.
We've all known them. They exist
Yeah.
always. There's always somebody like that. And
Yeah.
but
And I
I did,
loved when Imogene is looking at that painting of Mary.
oh, like
Ugh.
there's so
And
much going through her.
and it was
But
so refreshing too to see the response of the Herdmans to the nativity story. Like,
Right.
what? They didn't let them in the inn, like these stories that we've heard so many times, and to hear that fresh
Yeah,
perspective
because
on
they
it was
didn't
really
know.
nice.
And yeah, but the funny thing is when we get to the end of the movie and we finally see who the narrator is. But I, for a hot moment, thought Imogene was dead. The way she was getting all teary-eyed, and I was like, "Wait, she's still
Uh,
alive, right? Did you get that feeling? Like, I don't know, because
well,
because
I didn't get that feeling, but I think it would have been really fun if Imogene had been in that crowd listening to her,
yes, I
that
really thought
class, and
she
then
was
that
going
you
to
get
end
like
up
a
being.
little wink from Imogene to her.
Yeah,
Like
but
that would have been
no,
fun.
that would have been fun. But like for me, she's all hugging that blanket, and there's tears, and I get it. And I was like, "Is she dead?" For a hot moment, I thought that. I guess it's just the way.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I
always
can
looking
see
for
it. I
that
can
tragic
see
thing.
it. The biggest thing that surprised me, and I talked to Dallas about this in the interview, I was shocked that they had the Herdman smoking. I was shocked because
Right,
that is
because yeah.
really uncommon in family films, even for the villains. Like Disney has a complete ban. They
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 don't
will not
even,
allow it
yeah. They
in
don't
new
even do that
films.
on TV shows anymore.
Yeah, I mean even Cruella de Vil couldn't smoke
Yeah.
in
So I
Cruella.
remember, yeah, like, because for instance, like they don't like no one smokes on TV anymore, which is why Mad Men was so like they're drinking. I mean, people drink and they do drugs, but don't put a cigarette in your mouth like on TV. All of that is fake anyhow. But like, don't put a cigarette in your mouth because that's the
Yeah,
worst thing ever. But
so
that's
funny.
why, yeah, that's why Mad Men was like, no, we're gonna like show the era. Because I
But
remember when on General Hospital when Luke Spencer stopped smoking his cigar because they didn't allow they were like we can't show people smoking anymore on TV. I was like on
so
a soap opera? These
yeah, so
people are
I was
sleeping with their brothers' wives and stuff and we can't. I mean, it's a bit dramatic, but you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like and smoking
yeah.
is the most offensive thing. I mean, it's not real. I get it.
Yeah.
But
I was shocked. I mean, and then especially to have a child. I mean, it was that
oh
was very,
yeah.
very surprising. I was fine with it because they're supposed to be bad. Like, it's fine. But like, it was just surprising that they
Re-
did that. And I mean, they
Reminded me of my
kept the
childhood though.
Herdmans like pretty bad.
Yeah, it reminded me of my childhood, like when we ride bikes and you see the bad kids on the corner smoking cigarette. I mean, I don't know if you ever saw that,
Yeah.
but it did remind me of of like because he captured that era. Because I think it's what late 70s, early
Yeah,
80s.
it was interesting. He said that they specifically didn't actually like tie it down to an era, that they
Yeah,
had like
like
things
so
from a
I
lot
was
of, but it
like,
felt kind of late 70s.
it did. It kind of felt. I was like, this almost feels like I feel like this is my very youngish childhood, like with these sort of memories. It made me miss snow. The snow looked just so beautiful there, and it
Yeah.
made me miss library catalogs.
Oh, yeah.
When they're in the library and they're using
Right.
it all. I
Yeah.
was like, I miss that. I really do miss that.
Yeah. I just thought like it was just so refreshing. We watch all of these Christmas movies, and to have one that really nails the reason for the season, that
Totally.
really
This one totally
nails
did. Yeah.
the
Acceptance.
you never
Uh,
see
yeah. Don't
how
judge a
often
book by
we
its cover.
see
Yeah. Yeah.
actual talk about Christ, and
Right. No, I
here
mean, that
you
is,
have the
yeah.
the actual reason for, if you believe that he's the son of God, like why did he come down? What was he for? And here
hmm
he came down for the herdmans too. It was
hmm
so moving. It was so
So,
touching.
and not in a preachy way where you,
No.
you don't, where because sometimes people can go too preachy and
Yeah.
it just becomes more like a sermon and they're telling you what to do. And this was just so heartfelt. I really
Yeah.
loved it. I mean, I
I
hope it's doing well, actually. It's like in
yeah.
third place. So I hope that it lasts because I don't know how many Christmas movies we're going to get in the theater. But like
Yeah.
I went, there was a whole bunch of, like, there was an entire family with a bunch of kids in there
Yeah.
watching it. So I hope more people go out to see it because it is delightful. But
Yeah.
them kids they've never gotten hit with a chinella, with a slipper. And if y'all have ethnic parents like I did, you haven't lived life till you were hit with a slipper. Because if they had been beaten with slippers, they wouldn't have been like that, Rachel. Because
Yeah.
that's what I channeled my mother. I was like, oh, I would have been like, they would have
Yeah.
had a slipper through poop.
Well, I actually have three tickets given to me by the folks at Lionsgate for the best Christmas pageant ever for stateside. And if you want to be entered, what we're asking people to do is either message us, message me. This I think this is going to air on Thursday or Friday, so message me by Sunday and message me, or we would be very, very grateful if you would leave a review on iTunes because we really need them this time of year. And especially if we get a negative review, which is going to happen, that's fine. But like then then it appears the top one that people see. And so if we get a positive one, then that's the top one, most recent, you know. So anyway, we would love those positive reviews. But either way, you can just message me or message the podcast by Sunday, and we'll enter you in for one of these ticket giveaways for 3 tickets. There's three tickets total that will be given away. And so, yeah, just let us know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
this is the one. Much. This is definitely the most must watch, I would say, this year. It is delightful.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely. Well, the next one that I really loved, it's actually a short that's on Disney Plus. It's called An Almost Christmas Story. And this is a short by director David Lowery, who is pretty well known for doing Pete's Dragon and The Green Knight and things like that. Great director. And he's doing this stop motion animation short, and Alfonso Cuarón is actually producing it. So this has like a huge pedigree behind it. And it's a very sweet little story. It's about 25 minutes, I think, is the short. And it's about this little owl that gets stuck in a tree that ends up getting taken down to be sent to Rockefeller Center.
Oh, is that based on didn't that happen last year or the year before? That they found an owl in the tree? That's actually
maybe
true.
It is. Yeah. I don't know if there's a true story element to it. Yeah. But anyway, the little owl meets this little girl named Luna, and they become friends. And it's just a really sweet little Christmas. It's just a really sweet little Christmas short. So I think and there's such a grand tradition of animated shorts at the holidays, you know, that it's fun. This is definitely this year's entry in there. It's on Disney Plus. It's really nice. So I think people would like it.
And when you said baby owl, I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's like this little cute little owl. Yeah. So everybody should check it out. It's really cute. I mean, I'd give it like, I think I'd give it like five crowns, full stars.
Does it you think it has a good chance for getting nominated for the Oscar?
I think it does. Yeah. I mean, with that pedigree behind it, and and you know, like, was it last year that there was a Christmas short?
The Apple one, right?
Oh, there was the Apple. That was so cute. There, it was like the horse. What was
that was from Apple. I think that was last year.
Oh, from Apple. I thought you were talking about.
Oh no, I'm sorry. From Apple, like Apple Studios, Apple.
Right,
TV.
right.
My bad.
No, it's the
Wait, no, that was the animated. I was thinking of the live action short
Boy, the Mole, and the Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse.
Yeah, I think that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that did win. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. And then there was one from Aardman that Robin,
which Netflix, which was adorable,
which was so cute,
so adorable.
And that was a holiday about a robin that is raised by a bunch of mice.
Yeah, which was like,
and
I feel about mice, but it was still adorable.
But they're stop motion; they're not like realistic.
Yes, I know. So it doesn't count.
Yeah, it's like the greatest lie is that mice are cute.
Yeah, I just needed like Ratatouille.
They don't look like Mickey. It's not a thing.
No, but like for Ratatouille, I got over that first hurdle of when all the mice are in the attic and they fall. I almost didn't make it out. I passed out. The kids were like, "You all right?" After that, I was fine, but like I had to get over that moment. But like Robin's cute. Like there's
Yeah,
so
it's
many
really
cute
cute.
Christmas shorts. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, going all the way back to the Grinch, you've got Charlie Brown, you've got Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of, I mean, the Rankin Bass, which may not be my favorite, but they are pretty iconic, and so there's just a grand tradition of Disney shorts. In Prep and Landing are really fun over at
Yeah.
Disney. So this is this year's entry, and it's really sweet. So all right. Well, let's do one that you have seen that I have not. Let's tackle this weekend's Lifetime. I just ran out of time. I didn't get to see them.
Rachel.
So let's talk about Holiday in Happy Hollow.
Oh,
Scary.
Rachel. I think my arm started to twitch. I cannot believe that Lifetime, they started both on Saturday and Sunday with their new movies this year, both about real estate. Um,
So
I
the
had
big
to
bad developer coming in,
it,
ruining Christmas, huh?
I had to stop this movie several times. I don't know, take it with a grain of salt. I was very sore. I was in a bit of pain. I've got a busted arm, so that might have played up, into my feelings. But essentially, we have this. She's not a bad lady. She is developing hotels. Basically, the synopsis is real estate developer Gracie's ambitious new project faces an unexpected roadblock when she stumbles upon a quirky detail from the past. The Christmas tree farm she has purchased once raffled off tiny 1 foot deeds to local families. So she is a
Oh yeah.
developer, yeah, for hotels, but she's not a horrible person. She's incorporating all these things to keep it both traditional and modern. But she is very, she has a lot to take in. She's like, I got to get this done now. I got to do this right away. Now. I got to get this done. She's like, she doesn't take a moment to breathe. And the local historian is Rachel, she needs to figure out who these people own these lands to to see if they would give them the deed so they could buy this and build it. And she's got to convince them. And the town historian is like, yeah, go to this lady who's a shut-in, right? She was 8 years old when this happened. She'll tell you who those people were. And then she gives them clues because, oh, I remember it was a cute guy. It was this. And so it's kind of like a scavenger hunt where they've got to deduce these clues to figure out who these people are, and some people are willing to sell it, some people are not. It's a very eclectic group. And this man, obviously, she's having they're growing closer with the town historian. This man is trash because the entire movie he's lying to her. Can I give
What's he
spoilers or
lying
no?
about?
Can I give spoilers? Is that all right?
Yeah, go for it.
He owns the deed. His grandmother was one of the people who owned the deeds, and he never tells her because you are ruining this town. You are going to get rid of those traditions.
So he
And
owns the deed, but all the other people own little parts of the deed?
yes, it's 5 little pieces of land. So she has to try to find all 5 of those.
Okay.
And he is teaching her how to slow down and take a breath. But he is lying to her throughout this entire movie because he does not tell her. So, like in the middle of it, they're throwing spices at each other. They're doing holiday traditions. And he's like, your hotel would ruin all this. And she's like, no, it wouldn't. I would still keep these traditions in. But like things change, we modernize. And
Well, why does
it,
he have to lie to her about that?
I
Like,
don't
what's the
understand why he didn't
reason?
come clean. And you're like, you're not coming clean. I know it's you who. And then so she figures it out on her own that she puts two and two together. And she's like, okay, so you didn't tell me. I'll give you the benefit
Isn't
of
it
the
his
doubt.
grandma's land? Why wouldn't he
It
own
was
it?
his grandma's land that he now owns. But
Yeah, that
yeah,
seems
and
like
they're not taking this. She's buying it. They're receiving money for it. So almost everybody's on board with this except him because he's afraid of change. And she goes, "Okay, so you lied to me, but will you give me that land because you know who I am now. You know that
uh-huh.
I'm not going to destroy all this." And he tells her no. And Rachel She goes home to cry and she's talking to her best friend and she goes, he was right. I will keep all the traditions. I was like, no, he wasn't. You are not a bad person. You are a lot. Okay. You are a lot to take in. If we were to hang out, I would have needed like a 2 week break. That's the truth. But this
Yeah.
man, the fact that he still chastises her and like doubts her when they spent, this is a movie, so they spend like 3 days together and,
Yeah.
they're each other's soulmate or whatever. But the fact that he would still say to her that she doesn't have good intentions with this hotel was
Yeah.
crazy. And then he's
Well, I
like,
would
I'm
think that a
sorry.
hotel would be more likely to have those kinds of traditions than
Exactly. And
a
then she
tree
comes
farm.
back. Yeah, she comes back and she goes, everyone, I promise I'll keep all these traditions. She never said that she wasn't going to keep those traditions, but he was showing
Yeah.
her the tradition. She's like, I will incorporate it and we'll keep things the same, but also different because we'll have a new hotel that'll give jobs. No one else had a problem with giving her the property. They were all looking for the future. They were not worried at all that they were going to lose any traditions.
Yeah,
But this man,
you could probably still even have the tree farm and
exactly,
have
because she's like,
a
because
hotel.
they have a dance in a ballroom, right? And she's like, I'm going to build an amazing ballroom so everybody can come. And he goes, but this is the ballroom. This is where we have it. And she goes, well, the town didn't always have the ball here. They just started doing it these last couple of years. She's trying to tell him that things change but can stay the same. And he's like, nope,
Yeah.
nope. And then he
They
says,
had the
yeah,
ballroom
I'm
at the
sorry.
farm.
Huh?
They had a ballroom at the tree farm.
No, no, we never see the tree farm. The tree farm is just a plot of land that is never seen. We never know where exactly it's located.
What? Why couldn't they
Yeah,
still have the ball then at the town
because the
ballroom?
lady's a shut-in, so she no longer has it in her house, and they have it in the town hall.
But I'm saying, why couldn't they keep doing that
They could
if
do
the
it. She wants
hotel's
to
there?
incorporate it into the hotel and have it be a community thing. And he's like, no, that's wrong. It has to stay the same. I
I
don't,
mean,
this
that
movie's confusing.
it's a big stretch to go from
It is.
that you can't build your hotel because we can still use the community center. Like
Yes, and
it's not
you're
like
gonna
he's trying
get.
to replace the community
No,
center.
no, because she's like, well, it still exists, but it'll be in a new location. And she's trying to like have new things with incorporating all of the town's tradition. And she's not really planning on tearing anything down historic. And the
Yeah.
land hasn't been used in a while. And the town approved the sale to have a hotel because they're like, we could use the jobs. So this dude, I don't understand what the problem was in this movie.
Yeah, that sounds
And I don't
unhinged.
know if it's because I was hocked up on some pain medicine, but I don't know what was going on here, Rachel. It's so bizarre. I mean, maybe somebody watched it and
Oh,
goes, "You watched a completely different movie than I did." He does say, "I'm sorry, I doubted you," but only after she's like, "You were right. The traditions have to." I was like, "Lady, what traditions are you getting rid of? I'm going to incorporate everything into the hotel. That's what you wanted to do from the beginning." And the fact
yeah.
that she has to apologize and grovel to him, saying that he was 100% right, I was like, no, this man is trash. Also, there's no chemistry, Rachel. I was like, no,
Oh
no,
man.
questionable acting. I don't know. This movie was weird. Maybe I did see a different movie in my fog than other people will. Let me know if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'll take it because I'll
Yeah.
have to say I was in a bit of a daze watching this. This might affect me. I'll admit to that. Totally.
Well, the next one that I saw, I don't think, did you get to see Hot Frosty yet?
No, I haven't seen any of the Netflix movies.
Okay, so Hot Frosty,
Mm,
new film on Netflix, written by Russell Hainline, who we're definitely going to have him on. I actually was chatting with him about having him on before this and his other movies came out, and I was like, you know what? I think it'd be more fun since we already know you to have you after they come out, and then we can talk about them and do like a deep dive.
yeah.
And we kind of did that with Santa Summit, and that was really fun. So that's what we're going to do. So look forward to that. But he is the writer of Hot Frosty, and of course, Lacey Chabert, Dustin Milligan, and our Snowman Come to Life movie. And for me, I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was fun. I particularly liked the first act more than the second act because The second act, it starts to get like really serious. Like we need to
Mm.
be very concerned about what's going to happen to Mr. Frosty and with their love, and it just tries to get kind of like all dramatic. Whereas I enjoyed more the first act, where it's like fish out of water, him like experiencing all these things, and basically like having no social boundaries was funny. That he didn't understand that like being naked was bad, that like doing everything or bad, but like inappropriate, and not to steal things, not to just take things, stuff like that. That he kind of has to be taught like what is love, when do you know you're in love, like those things worked, I think, pretty well and were pretty funny. And when he's getting really hot, yes, because he's a snowman, and you know how much I love and adore snowmans.
Yes.
And
How does it rate to that level of bonkers?
it's not, well, I mean, it's a little bit different because in Snowman's he's more sort of the secondary character, where
Yeah.
the love story is her and her, BFF, and he's like the secondary comic relief is more the snowman. Whereas this, you have her falling in love with the snowman, and that's why it has to kind of go dramatic. In the end, it can't be just completely silly the
Yeah.
whole time. And so I prefer Snowman's, and maybe my nostalgia is creeping in there. You could definitely feel the budget. And this one
Yeah.
is obviously way more than Snowman's. The songs, it had a really expensive playlist on there, and just the filming and just everything, and you could feel that. But I love Snowman's. I think it's so funny. Every time he calls him little guy. How you doing, little guy?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Make me
And when
laugh
it's
so hard.
so funny, it is so bonkers and him sweating.
And when he's like,
She's
I'm
so
so hot, I'm so hot. And he's like taking off his
yeah. So does she wish him to life in Hot Frosty or
what was it? I can't even remember. So there's like a magic scarf. She
mm,
doesn't wish, I don't think. I'm trying to remember the beginning.
yeah.
What happens? It's just like magic. He becomes alive.
Do you know
And
what it sounds like to me? It sounds almost, do you remember it's kind of old now. I think from the mid 2000s. It was called Holly's Holiday, where she
yes,
wishes
there's
for
a
a perfect man
mannequin.
and it's a mannequin. Yeah, it kind
Yeah.
of sounds like that a little.
Yeah, it is kind of, that's a good comparison as
Okay.
well. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was funny. I did like a whole thing of I did a whole list on Letterboxd of ranking snowman movies.
A
So
lot
you
more than
have,
you would think.
yeah, you see, the snowman, which is animated short. Speaking of animated Christmas shorts,
Yeah.
delightful. Frozen, of course, Olaf. You got Olaf. Snowman's, Hot Frosty, Frosty the Snowman, and Jack Frost.
Yeah.
So
Couple of horror movies in there too.
yeah, they really are. So it was enjoyable. It was funny enough. It was silly enough. The characters were charming enough. I enjoyed it. It's not by no means a masterpiece, but it was
Yeah.
it was fun. So then another one from Netflix that we had was Meet Me Next Christmas. And this is the one, Christine Milian. They have this like meet cute with this guy, and they're gonna meet up at the Pentatonics concert. And in the world of this movie, that is like the ticket. I forget if it's New York or Philadelphia or wherever. That's like the hot ticket. Nobody can get a ticket. There are hundreds of dollars, all these scalpers, everything like that. And I don't
Wow.
follow music at all, really. So I don't know. Maybe Pentatonics are the hot
Well, I
ticket.
know who they are, and they're I think they're more popular for their Christmas albums, but they have
Okay.
other albums, and
Yeah.
they are oh my gosh, what do you
And
call it?
they
They
are
give me
featured in the movie. You see
Oh, okay.
them like
It's not
throughout.
that's not even the original lineup too. They've lost a member or two since then,
Oh,
but
okay.
they're an a cappella group. That's it.
Right, right. I did
Yeah.
know that because I
Yeah, they've been
happened to
around for a
watch when
while.
there was the that singing competition, the acapella competition that they
Hmm.
were on.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I know Pentatonics,
Yeah.
because there's a team from BYU,
Yeah.
my alma
I do
mater.
love their Christmas stuff though. I have listened to their Christmas albums. It's good. It's good.
Vocal
I mean,
Point
I
is the
believe
name.
those concert tickets are probably hundreds of dollars, but I don't know if they'd be like, you know.
Yeah. But anyway, so then this guy ends up helping her, and as the day goes on, all these various shenanigans, things happen to try to get a ticket, and they end up kind of falling for each other by the end, and it wasn't awful, but my problem was that I did not think this lead guy was very good. He was very stiff, very flat, just didn't have that charisma that you need for something
Hmm.
like this. And so that just kind of impacted my feeling for the movie, and
Yeah.
so it's not awful, but I it didn't come together for me.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the new Gift Wrap Romance Sweet Clean series, available now wherever you purchase books. Looking for some cheerful escapism this holiday season? Snuggle up with a cup of hot cocoa and lose yourself in 5 festive tales of romance with the new book series, Gift Wrapped Romance. These 5 funny and feel-good books have all the jolly hallmarks of perfect holiday reading: twinkling lights, mistletoe kisses, and plenty of Christmas cheer. Swoon over your new book boyfriends as they find love in the most magical season of all. Find the books wherever you do your book shopping this holiday season, or use the affiliate link in the description below.
Christmas at Plum Hill Manor. So how did this compare with the Happy Hollow?
Joe, they're the same movie.
They're the same movie.
This one's better.
Okay.
But I love the synopsis of this. It's one sentence. Margaret Stone discovers a magical Christmas secret in an English countryside manor. Boy, does that leave a lot to
Why
the
is she
imagination.
there? Why is she
Okay,
in
so this movie
England?
starts where she is a real estate developer. Guess what she's doing? Hotels. Did I not watch a movie similar like this week? And her boss loves her. She's like, I don't care about
But
old
why is she in
things.
England?
I'll get to that. She doesn't care about old things, Rachel. She's all right. New stuff. Tear down. An aunt that her mother is a flaky artist. Her father's passed away. Her great aunt, which was her father's aunt, she's never met her, leaves her an English estate that she has to spend 7 days staying at,
Oh yeah.
and to decide whether to stay or to sell. And her aunt leaves her little clues, so there's also a scavenger hunt going on. So she goes to England, meets a very quirky butler, whatever, quirky people. The guy that she meets he makes I believe it's gin. Yeah, gin on the property, and his father is the property manager. And of course, he's like, we got to keep with tradition, and we got to keep with, legacy and new stuff, and you're a terrible, awful person because you tear down things. I Googled you. So we're doing all these Christmas things that are tradition to the town, and also the scavenger hunt stuff. And they fall for each other. And somehow her boss thinks that she is going to sell him this property, which is severely in debt. So she might not even be able to keep it. But with the love of her dead aunt, who she never knew, this guy who continuously yells and berates her, that she finds hot, and they like each other, and the magic of England and Christmas traditions, Rachel, and history. Let's not forget history. She learns to preserve things and keep everything together. This is the same exact movie. Lifetime aired the same 2 movies. I'm so angry.
Like the same movie. That's hilarious.
It's the same movie with a bit of with some different touches. This one isn't great either. I mean,
At least it sounds like it's better than.
It is better. I will say it's far more
Menounos-
entertaining. We're in England somewhere. Actually, it's probably Ireland. It's probably Ireland. I mean, it is supposed to be England, but I was like, I don't know. I think I don't know.
I mean, last year, Maria Menounos did the holiday dating guide, which is
That's still on my DVR, Rachel. Eventually, I'll get to it.
I hated it so much for me.
Mm.
So it just sounds like at least it sounds like it sounds just more bland.
It is bland, and it's like there's no
bad.
It's like and her boss is like, I'm gonna buy your land. I was like, why would you even think she was gonna sell you your land? Like, just be presumptuous. you know, because
Yeah.
she's got a life in New York. I love it. Rachel, she goes to her apartment and right at the beginning of the movie. She's all dressed in white, right? White heels. Like she looks fabulous, you know. She's a fabulous looking woman.
Uh-huh.
She's drinking her red glass of wine, sitting on her perfectly white furniture with a half-made puzzle there. And I was like, this lady ain't doing puzzles. Give me a break. This lady is not doing jigsaw puzzles. I was like, no. And the weird, like none of these clues, the scavenger hunt made any sense. There is a way to save this property. It is a clue that the aunt apparently knew for dozens, maybe her entire life, but yet never revealed to never help her with bills. I'm gonna leave it to my niece
Oh
who I've never
no.
met. It is the same exact movie, less annoying, but still the dude yells at her. I will say that I
He
believed his
yells at her?
he yells at her like because she's already starting to feel like I don't want to sell this place. I want to try to make it work. She's like slowing down, you know, she's a businesswoman, right? Busy businesswoman. So she needs that country air to like make her realize her, you know, her life sucks or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
And and so somebody else drew up some plans and he assumes it's her because she is an architect, that it was her who drew up those plans. And oh, Rachel, when he unfolds those plans, I was like, they're just dots on a paper. What is this? I've actually seen blueprints. Those are not blueprints. Anyway, and he like berates her. You're a horrible person. He has to apologize to her later. And I believed that his apology was sincere because he was like, I let my emotions get to me. I know that you're better than this, you know. I believed his apology, but she's like, oh, that no problem. I forgive you. I would not, Rachel. I would not. He knows her. They've been spending all like movie magic time together, like 7 days. You know,
Yeah.
they've already dating, you know, it's their relationship moves pretty fast. And
Yeah.
you know, he won't, you know, give her the benefit of the doubt. Not as trash as the first man. I couldn't believe it, Rachel. I watched these movies
That
like
is
a day
hilarious.
apart,
The
and I was
same.
like, they are the same movie. And you know, I was like, wait, I didn't take no medication. I said my arm was sitting, you know, I was like, I think I've got a clear mind for this. I was like, what's going on? I was, I was
That is
perplexed.
really
This,
funny.
this is not a strong start to Lifetime for their holiday. I'm sorry. Lifetime, I love your
Darn.
thrillers. Keep making them Amish thrillers. I devour them, but like this is rough. This could have been a thriller, you know,
Yeah.
at this like
Well, thank
creepy
you for
old
saving me
manor.
from having
Yeah.
to watch
Rachel, no,
that.
I mean, if I was to choose one to pick, it would be Christmas at Plum Hill Manor. I would
Okay.
choose this one over the other
Mhm.
one because that one is just I don't know. These
Yeah.
weren't for
Yeah.
me. People, go ahead and watch them if you really want to. Make up your own minds. Again,
Well,
you
I
know.
have two features to talk about briefly. So we have Red One. That's the
Hmm.
big action
Yes.
holiday release. And that's become kind of
Hmm.
a weird thing that we've had recently with they have like Fat Man with Mel Gibson playing Santa. They have Red One with J.K. Simmons playing Santa. There's the Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell kind of being, you know, your kick butt Santa. It
But
seems to
that
be
one's almost
a trend.
traditional though, story-wise, the one with Kurt Russell. Almost kind of, you know,
This is almost what?
a traditional almost, the one with Kurt Russell, even though he's like
Yeah.
young, hip Santa, you know, it's a little bit more traditional story-wise.
Well, so this one it stars it's actually about Chris Evans' character. He's the lead character and
Mm.
he's on the naughty list. He's kind of cynical and through various conferences he ends up he's like a oh, what do you call him? Like he's like a rogue spy kind of and people hire him to do. I know there's a name for that. I can't think of it, but anyway, hire him to do different things, and he gets hired to find this the location of this file or any of this government espionage thing.
Oh, kind of like a
And
mercenary,
yeah,
sort
I
of.
mean mercenary, yeah.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know who it is that he's selling the secrets without realizing it that he basically like turned in the location of Santa Claus.
Oh
So
no.
Santa Claus ends up getting kidnapped. And so then
Mm.
they basically kidnap him, and The Rock is like he's the head of the elves, which is the I forget what they had it stands for. It's at ELF. So I forget what it stands for, but anyway, he's the head of like Santa security, basically. And so they abduct him, and they then go on this quest to like try to find Santa. All that sounds like super entertaining. Like I'm in. I'm in. The problem is that they everything, even though they spent $250 million, everything in this movie looks so cheap and so terrible that like it's impossible to kind of get immersed in the action of it all. Then there's long sections of action, but it looks so bad. And they have this whole thing with The Rock is goes from being like really small, being really big, kind of Ant-Man style, but looks way worse. And so it just, I couldn't get immersed in the action because it all looked so bad. And so I just became really bored. And I mean, if you're going to this movie for J.K. Simmons to see him as Santa, he's barely in the movie, just barely. Like you see him before he gets abducted, and then like little shots of him throughout. But it's mostly The Rock and Chris Evans, like going from place to place trying to find where Santa is at. And it's just as long. It's over 2 hours, and it's just like the most generic action movie you could imagine with like a Christmas skin on top. And I was so bored. And
I was actually going to see this movie yesterday. I might still watch it. I might give it a chance, but I was feeling so sore yesterday because of my arm, and I was like, oh, it's too long. I don't know if I could sit comfortably, for that long there. And I was like, no. But I've seen this trailer so many times in front of other movies at the theater, and it always made me so angry because I was like, why does this movie look so not even cheap, but it looks terrible. Like
it looked so bad.
I mean, I'm hoping that so the special effects didn't look any better than from the trailer.
No, it looked absolutely terrible. And I'm normally not a real like overly concerned about like the color grading or the special effects. Like I can get into a movie that looks kind of cheap. That if the story and the characters and the other things, but this movie was relying on its action to entertain us, and when it looks so bad, and it certainly wasn't funny enough, it wasn't. So and I think partly too is that we've just been so spoiled lately with incredible action in something like obviously like a John Wick or Mission Impossible, and I'm not expecting that from a movie called Red One, but like. You do expect it to at least be on like I think you at least expect it to be on like this thing looked worse than The Flash, which had absolutely atrocious special effects. So it looked I said in my little mini review, I said this movie has one Christmas sequence at the end that was fun, which is true. Once they find Santa, then there's like a mad rush to pull off Christmas, to get everybody delivered, and how that is all. It's like a really fun little sort of 5-minute sequence with them delivering all the toys and how they shrink down and just different stuff. That was great. I loved that. But the rest was unbelievably boring with some of the worst special effects I've seen in a movie in a long time.
Maybe I'll just wait till it goes to
on its action, and it's so badly done that it becomes a slog. Also, barely any Santa. So
clearly, most of the money went to pay the cast.
Yeah.
Because, I have that complaint too with Marvel movies. They spend so much money, and why does it look, you're making these guys work like overnight for these special effects, and it just looks so terrible.
This looks way worse than any of those.
Do you know what
even
the cinema
Ant-Man
score
3,
is?
which was atrocious.
Rachel, do you know what the cinema score is for this movie?
Yeah, isn't it A-?
A-. I almost fell off my chair because I looked it up before we started talking.
I was no like, idea. No. Why?
and it's making money. I mean, it's not going to make the money that they spent, but it's going to make something. So it's not going to be as big of a bomb as we think it is going to be.
I
Obviously,
thought it
nowhere
was
near.
so boring. I
But
was just
yeah, so there are
not.
people who are like, I saw somebody on Twitter, Red One was fun, and I was like, I don't know. I might go still. I might, I might,
Yeah, and
might
I
pop
have
a
to
pain pill
say,
and go, Rachel.
I think I'm out on The Rock. I was a pretty big fan for a long time. I thought he was charming. I thought he was,
Wow, there's
and
no
it's been
movie.
a while. Like he's
Yeah,
just done one clunker after another,
it's
and
like I liked
and
Moana, and
and
that's
like
about it.
which
And
one?
I like the Jungle Cruise. It's not perfect, but I thought it was fine enough. The Jungle
It
Cruise.
should have been better with
It
all
should
the
have been better,
ingredients they
but
had.
yeah.
But yeah,
But I
it
was like,
was it was okay.
oh,
But he's
oh,
had a
but that
bunch that were really bad in a
I
row,
know.
and from what it just seems like he's not very pleasant to work with, and like the way that he's treating people.
He
Like
did admit, though, I will say, he did pee. He peed in bottles. Remember
I
that
know
whole
that's what I'm
report?
saying. Like
And
when you hear
he
that,
admitted it, and I was like, well, at least he owned that, right?
well, I mean, I guess, but that
Excuse
even
me.
shows like a certain degree of
No,
hubris,
it's because he's
that he
playing
thinks
the
he's a
same.
he
Yeah,
he he doesn't even
I'm
care
sorry.
what people think of him or so
No.
I think I'm done. I think I'm
Yeah, because
done.
he's also playing the same character in every movie. He doesn't play like bad people,
Uh-huh.
and and like I think he's starting to kind of learn his lesson, but like
It's too
no,
bad
the
because
same.
like in his Fast and Furious movies, he was kind of an antagonist to start.
Yeah, and he was fun for the most part. I wonder if
Yeah.
he'll still get his because he's supposed to have because he can't work with Vin Diesel together. He was supposed to have his own sort of mini movie about what was going on
Yeah.
whenever we
But
finish
I think
that.
there used to be this idea of like, oh, well, Vin Diesel is the hard one to work with. And now I'm thinking like I'll hear all
They
this stuff
both
about The
are,
Rock,
Rachel.
and
They
I'm
both
like,
are.
mm,
You've become
uh
so famous and so rich in such a short amount of,
yeah.
it gets to your head and hey,
And he could still make good movies. But really didn't like Black Adam. I didn't like this. I didn't like just seems
stop
like
with
a
the
bunch of
action
ones in a row.
stuff. Like make a more simpler movie. It doesn't have to be action stuff. Do something like about a father and son, maybe going on a road trip. Like strip it down, like
Yeah.
also
Well,
he
and
just
just
keeps
be like
getting
actually fun. Like,
yeah,
not taking yourself so seriously. Like he's been like
yeah,
he
agree.
yeah, like my favorite movies of his aside from Moana, which I feel like doesn't really count. My favorite movies of his were like with Kevin Hart when it was like a little bit sillier and a little bit fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, so anyway, but Red One, at least for me, I thought it was a big snore.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies.
Their movie that's a feature is called Christmas Eve in Miller's Point. This is an indie film that follows this family, this Italian family on Christmas Eve, and all the different stories. And this movie is okay. But I couldn't recommend it because there really is no story. You're just it's a fly on the wall kind of movie. You're following these people around, and that can be okay. But I think I needed like a little bit more plot than what
Yeah.
this could provide. And I thought a lot of the acting was poor, weak. And so for like a fly on the wall kind of movie, you want to feel like real immersed and real, that for that to work. And so it's not awful. It has a lot of, nice feeling about it, like cozy feeling about it, but it just wasn't quite enough to engage me. So That's my
I didn't even
feeling on that.
hear about this movie until you mentioned it.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't aware of it.
I didn't know about it until Alonso Duralde he reviewed it. So I was like, oh,
I mean,
okay.
he would know, right? I mean, like,
Right,
he
yeah.
knows all the Christmas movies.
Yeah. So the last one to talk about is you saw The Holiday Club.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that, because I don't think we previewed it. You got to see it.
Okay, so wait, let me pull up so I get these ladies' names right.
Yeah.
It's not really a Christmas movie. We basically get to see these ladies. It's the whole entire movie is basically just really these two ladies, whose names are, pull up IMDb. I should have gotten myself prepared for this one. Why is IMDb?
So
They're
is it
not even
Sam and
listed on
Bailey?
IMDb and there's the stars. What? Okay, Bailey and Sam. Okay, those are the
So
characters.
Michaela Sheely and Alexander
Yes,
Swarens.
and
Okay.
she wrote and directed this movie. Apologies for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I had to like go all the way down on IMDb for them. So they happen to be lesbians, and they sort of meet on Valentine's Day. Bailey is a baker, and she's delivering this order, and Sam is like, "Oh, I canceled it," and there's like a friendly. They just talk to each other, and Bailey is in a relationship that isn't exactly working out, and Sam is very lonely. And I think what this movie does is tell a great story about friendship and also different levels of loneliness, because Sam is lonely in a new town and she's seeking friends. She doesn't like, she works, she's got one work friend and that's it. And she just wants companionship. And Bailey is alone in a different sense. She has friends and stuff, but her relationship, it's not working out. So it's like a sort of loneliness in that you're trying so hard in that relationship and it's not working out. And then they so happen to live right next to each other. And then they move to the next holiday, which is St. Patrick's Day. And Bailey breaks up with her girlfriend, and Sam is actually seeing someone. And so we get little glimpses of their friendship blossoming through all these holidays that is the focus. Like we see them on holidays, watching movies, hanging out. And
Now, do you feel like there's enough Christmas in this to feel
no,
Christmas
no,
vibes?
no, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I think
That's
that
what
they
Michelle
spend,
actually said as well.
yeah,
Um,
they spend about as much time on Christmas as they do with every other holiday, and then a couple of
mhm.
days before and in between, just to see how these two interact. But I really loved how once they get, because it's a friends to lovers story, once they kiss and they hook up, there's that whole what happens now? Do we want to ruin this friendship that we had?
Yeah.
And it's a
Ah,
real, I thought that was really realistic
oh,
also in
that's a
its
good time. I always
portrayal.
love that about Friends to Lovers. That
Yeah, but like they really thought about it, and then like, oh, I need a break from you, and we see them spend the holidays alone, but they miss each other. And it really is like essentially they have to both come to this, can we make this work? Can we sacrifice this friendship? Because they become fast friends really quick. They're very similar and they like each other, but also they're always in a relationship when one of them becomes single, the other one gets in a relationship, so they never have a perfect timing for them to get together. And then when they do, it's all like, where do we go from here? Do we want to ruin it because we have such a special thing? And they're like two polar opposites as well. But I really, it's an independent film. It's just basically them. We see a couple of friends, we see her girlfriend, the girlfriends, but I just love the dynamic of these
mhm.
two together and their friendship, and then how it slowly evolves to becoming more. I just thought it was really sweet and like realistic in a sense of where do we go from here. And I just love the approach to the loneliness. I mean, they weren't losers because they were lonely. They were just trying to like find companionship in that way. There's a whole bunch of sort of different levels to this movie, and I
Uh-huh.
really liked it.
Oh. So it sounds like maybe not as a Christmas movie, but just as a movie in
No,
general.
no, they do have two Christmas scenes. The movie also ends on Christmas. So if you wanted to
Mm,
cheat, put it on your Christmas like list, you can. But I would say no. Christmas isn't
mm,
a real focus. They celebrate all these holidays. It's
mm.
basically a year in the life. It's like a year worth of holidays that you see in the life of these ladies.
Yeah, you see that sometimes, like with that one that was like the raunchy one with Emma Roberts and Luke Bracey.
I did
Um
not see that one. Oh, that was the New Year's one, right?
no, it was called like the holiday, not hol it's not holidays. That's the new show. It's
I know what you're talking about. For some strange reason, I thought it was a New Year's one.
well, it has all the holidays
Oh
is
yeah.
what it's called.
Oh, the Netflix one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Kind of saying it
Oh, I
goes through all
forgot
the
she was
different
in that. I was thinking of
holidays for
another
a
movie.
year.
Yeah, she's in another movie too that I was thinking. Maybe that's the New Year's one I was thinking of. Yeah, I
Oh
kind of
yeah.
like that movie, but I know you didn't.
I
I
did
kind of like it.
I
Well, yeah, but
did,
that is
but it does go through the whole year.
it
And
does go through
then
it. Yeah,
yeah, in
kind of like that Up TV movie with
season greetings.
yes, it's like that too, where they go through the whole entire like calendar year of holidays. And they even throw birthdays in this to cheat a little bit, to show you outside of a holiday,
Mm. Oh,
which
that's
I
nice.
agree, birthdays are holidays.
So, out of all of the ones that you've seen, what would be your top recommendation?
I would say the best Christmas pageant ever,
Yeah.
and then the Holiday Club. I would say
Yeah.
those two.
Well,
Yeah.
mine, I agree, best Christmas pageant ever, and then an almost Christmas story, the animated short.
Yeah.
So, let us know what you think of all of these. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if there's ones that you've seen non-Hallmark that we didn't cover, let us know. And there may be some that we maybe pick up next time where, we only have so much time in the day. And so, we'll do our best to cover everything over the course of the season. So just let us know if there's something you want our thoughts on that we haven't talked about. Would love to do so. And yeah, and let's see here. And make sure you message us if you want to get entered for the giveaway of those tickets for best Christmas pageant ever. Leave those reviews on iTunes. It really helps us a lot. And so if you could do that, we would sure appreciate it. And Terry, where can people find you?
I'm at Twitter at Flurry Heaven.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. Check that out. Make sure if you follow me on my personal Instagram, you can see my out of theater reactions to everything that I see, including the Christmas movies. So check that out. And if you are if you're listening to this on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. We also have our Patreon group, which is the biggest way you can support us. And we give awesome opportunities to, like this month, we had Topher Payne on and we got to watch A Gift to Remember and hear all from him. So we have those cool opportunities. Next month, we have Julie Sherman Wolf coming. We're going to watch Finding Santa. It's going to be real fun. So those are the kind of experiences that you get to have as a patron. Any level can participate. So please check out the Patreon. I really try hard to make it worth the investment. And then we have our merch store where we've got new holiday movie merch, inspired merch. We've got Home Alone. We've got Die Hard. We've got Christmas Story. We've got Scrooge, all that fun stuff. So check it out. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Merry Christmas. Bye.
Bye.